We aim to make a suit that makes you feel like you're in a pajama. I think that what we do is mix of Italian, English, and what Viennese style used to be. Something which is lighter in the weight, which is softer in the structure. We're great fans of making a suit that when you look at it, I don't know what it is.
So we're here at the Mass Atelier Posanna with Michael Posanna. Hi,
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. So tell me more about how you interpret the Viennese style, or are you even Viennese at all?
Well, I think that what we do is, it's a bit of a mix of Italian, English, and what Viennese style used to be. What was Viennese style? I think, as with most of the continental European tailoring, it was fairly, also as the climate was a different one, was fairly robust in its structure. It had heavier fabrics, and to give it not only save you from the climate and the weather, but also to give it the proper structure and that you look tidy. As time evolves and we have influence from Italy, who were great fans of the Italian tailoring, but had to adapt to the warmer climate. We also had an introduction of lighter fabrics and lighter finishes, and I think this is, from the finishing point, what we try to achieve. Something which is lighter in the weight, which is softer in the structure, and we aim to make a suit that makes you feel like you're in a pajama. It should look tidy, but you should feel like in a pajama. And if you are able to use the proper canvas and the not too heavy fabrics, it's achievable, and it should be a pleasure to wear a suit, not only an obligation.
Okay, that sounds good. I mean, when we talked earlier, I think you mentioned something along the lines of, I don't want you to feel a suit. And I was just trying on a garment that you had made. I think it was a frack, a tailcoat,
Right.
which is very common here in Vienna. And I had it on, we were talking, and I completely forgot that I was wearing it. Even though it wasn't made for me, but I could feel it was felt very natural, like a second skin in a way. So I think that is what you're trying to achieve.
That is right, what you achieve. I'm happy you felt that way.
Yeah. No, totally. So let's talk a bit about, the Viennese style and your style and how you define it. For example, let's start with a jacket here. This is a jacket that you made,
Right,
is that right?
Exactly, yes.
Walk me through it here. What are the details? What did you pay attention to? What was important for you with this coat?
As I've mentioned before, our goal to make something which is very lightweight and softly structured, so there's no padding in here whatsoever.
Okay, so if you
there's no
hold
shoulder
it,
pad. It's
there's
made
nothing.
like a shirt, so it's very, very softly structured. Also, we don't like anything that's too exaggerated. So we don't have very peaky lapels. We don't like it completely flat. We have a moderate angle here on the crochet, which is very important to us.
Even the sleeve head here, it's very natural.
Yes,
it's not
I think a suit should follow the shape of the body, and if we're great fans of making a suit that when you look at it, you think, well, I don't know what it is. It's beautiful, but what is it? And I think you can achieve that by doing nothing too exaggerated, nothing too slant, and nothing too straight, nothing too accentuated. So the less attention a line or a detail gives the suit, the more elegant, in our opinion, the suit is.
Yeah, so your pick stitching, for example, it's very subtle. It's not like the Italians that maybe choose a contrast thread to highlight it, maybe a double row. It's all
understated. We try to be as understated as possible,
while having a very kind of natural feel and silhouette. Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So what else do we see here? Like, what's your stance on lapel width, for example?
In our opinion, perfect. What is perfect? But ideal to the eye is if the lapel meets the middle of the distance between that line and the sleeve. So the middle is actually something that really pleases the eye. It's one of the things that I say. You look at it, and it's I don't know why, but the proportions are just perfect. And I think in that view, perfection is if it's in the middle. It's also if the corset is not. We don't really like if it's too high when you have to peak of the lapel, touch the shoulder line almost.
Yeah.
I also don't think it's too elegant if it's too low.
Like the 1930s, like
Yes.
very high up. So you choose a relatively modest middle, okay?
Right. Yeah.
And then buttonholes, it seems like you're always going for like handmade buttonholes, right? It's your thing.
Of course, yeah. Very important. Everything needs to be done by hand.
But it's very flat. You know, there's not a big gimp thread underneath of it. It's not like
again, I don't like it as we have a double silk thread running around while we stitch the buttonhole, but we don't have any of these old thick gimps because again, they look like too accentuated to me.
Yeah.
I like if it's softer, lower, and not so accentuated. It should last, but it shouldn't be really like an eye popper.
Yeah. So also no Milanese buttonhole. I think lately that has been very popular. You're like, that's not my style.
Not really, no.
Okay.
No.
Nice. So Michael, what else can we see here on the jacket that you think is maybe a little unique or that you do different than other people?
Unique. Well, what we really like ticket pockets.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're typically Viennese, but it's something that is been present in Viennese tailoring all the way back to the first suits. So I have pattern books from 1908 or 1910, and you would see that on these models that they always had a ticket pocket. So this is very much integrated into Viennese tailoring. Again, it's not specifically Viennese, but it's something that is been with Viennese tailoring ever since suits exist in the way we know them today.
How much like fullness do you like over the chest?
We use a very thin canvas, and we also only use on the chest part a horsetail enforcement, but
So
also
horsehair, like a Hensel.
Yes, exactly, but also pretty lightweight. And we have a canvas that runs across the front of the jacket to secure the buttonholes.
Oh, nice.
But that's it.
Oh, nice. Do you have an example of an open jacket?
Sure. We can. Let me see what we have.
Nice. What do we got here?
So here we have an overcoat. It's going to be a covered coat when it's finished, and it gives a good example. It gives you a good example, an idea of how we structure jackets. We basically do it the same way jacket as overcoat. So it's a thin canvas, linen with a little bit of horsehair. Then we have a canvas for the chest enforcement, which is more linen and more horsehair, and then we have a thin canvas running across the edge of the jacket, which is there to secure the buttonholes to give it stability. But that's all there is, and it's all on the very lightweight side.
So I can see here your shoulder seam. It's like not perfectly straight. It's like slightly curved.
It's slightly curved,
like
yeah.
the natural shoulder.
Like the lateral shoulder line is, exactly.
And you have it slightly, a little more in the back. I think modern jackets are pretty much center. Yours are a little back, not like old school ones all the way back.
Right, not that, exactly.
And then in the back, it seems like you're like a clean back, just maybe a little bit of...
A little bit of over width, not too much, but a little bit.
And then do you typically go for like just double vents standard? Right?
Yeah, I would say the classic, if you were to ask us about our house style, if there is such, on a single-breasted jacket, we normally do, I would say 90% of our jackets are 3-button, 2 vents. But the 2 vents
like
are...
3-roll 2 or just classic 3-button jacket?
Classic 3-roll jacket. Though the younger generation, they have a certain love for the 3-roll 2. So we do that every once in a while as well. But that would be our house style, basically.
And then, do you go with deep vents, or just is that your normal vent typically?
We always have the vents go to the pockets. So the height of the pocket defines the length of the vent.
Yeah. Very kind of natural look too.
Yes.
Nice. All right, so that was a regular double-breasted jacket.
Right.
Here we have something a little more lightweight.
This is a pure summer jacket, summer blazer. It's completely unstructured. So there's not a single thread of canvas inside, nowhere.
No canvas.
It's only fabric. So you can look through it.
You can see through it a little
There's
bit.
absolutely nothing inside. The only thing we have is we have a lining in here so it slides better across the back.
It's also known as the butterfly lining. That's why you call it a butterfly jacket.
Exactly, and because also it's lightweight. It's light. Even the sleeves are unlined.
It feels like a high twist wool. Is it like a fresco kind of?
It's a fresco, yes, a very lightweight. It's 7.5 ounces, so very lightweight fresco. Even the sleeves are unlined.
Oh, interesting. But so they're smooth enough you don't stick to them, really?
Right, exactly. So there's nothing, if you wear it with a polo t-shirt, it's not going to stick to your skin.
So you just piped basically the unfinished seams.
Right, so this is clean.
On the bottom,
right,
so it's all clean and neat.
But other than that, there's nothing into it. And so this is really, if no matter how hot or how humid, you're probably not going to feel this jacket at all.
Yeah. So this is something, I saw, I think, first at like Sartoria Shamat.
Yes,
and,
right, yeah.
But their style, they had a lot more, I think, rope over the shoulder. You kind of keep with a traditional silhouette.
I try to stay traditional as possible. We do very high armholes, and in order to still be able to move comfortably, you need to have the sleeve pretty big in proportion to the armhole.
Especially on top, right?
Exactly.
So you're not like restricted.
Right. So you have to hold it in, you have to let in the fabric while you sew it in. And so there's no way around having some of the creases around the sleeve because the cloth has to move someplace. This is what he wanted, a 3-roll too, and you can see how the buttonhole is in the rolling of the lapel.
Yeah. And you added, in line with the traditional sport coat patch pocket here, patch ticket pocket.
Yes.
Which is like on top of it, right? Some people
have
like
it in the
half
inside.
in.
Right.
Okay, nice. And then your quarters, do you open them like a little bit?
I like it to be pretty round. I don't like it to go down straight. I really prefer a round line. What I like is if you have like an S shape, so it runs like this, and you can achieve that if you have a round edge, pretty round edge on the bottom.
I see. The other thing I noticed here is like, the gorge, again, not too high, not too low, but it's slightly kind of angled, almost like a little curved, right?
We would like to have this curve or like that angle. So again, it follows all of this S shape that we try to achieve.
And so here I notice, a traditional shoulder seam is like you take the seam and then you just fold it in each way, basically. You now did it differently. You kind of folded it like this over.
Yeah, to give it some enforcement, as there's no canvas and nothing inside, just to give it some stability, we fold it in and then we do the overstitching, just to give it a little bit of stability and enforcement.
Very nice. I'm just looking at these like buttonholes here, and then I realized they're not buttonholes, but also like I don't even see the buttonhole stitching. Why is that?
Well, the thing is this is a first-time customer, first jacket, and he brought us back to have it serviced. On a new jacket, on a new customer, we do hand-sewn buttonholes, but not functioning ones. Why? Because out of 10 customers, 2 or 3 will come back and say, well, I'd like to have the sleeves shorter, I'd like to have them longer. So you can still alter it, but it's a lot more work to take out the sleeves, cut it up, and make it longer. Or, if they're sewn through, they're sewn through. And in order to avoid the more work on adjusting the sleeve because you already have them sewn through, we recommend every customer to wear the jacket a couple of times. And if he's satisfied with the length, come back and say, perfect, please do serge and cuffs for us.
And then you cut them. Interesting. That's a great approach. I like it. I like it. And so typically you go for the 3 buttons, or was it a customer?
Well, this is our style. What we prefer is single-breasted, 3 buttons. We'll have 3 buttons here. Single-breasted, 2 buttons. We'll have 2 buttons or 4 buttons here because I like the symmetry.
Yeah, 2 and 4 makes sense. So for evening wear, you typically go with 4 then.
Well, if a customer insists on having 4, even on a single-breasted 3-button, we'll do 4. But most of our customers ask us, so what is your style? What do you prefer? And most of them are happy with what we suggest.
Nice.
And I think it makes sense. It's pleasing to the eye. You look at it and you will say, okay, what's the harmony in it? Why does it look nice? And it is because there's this symmetry, because there's this, one corresponds to the other. And for instance, if you had 5 buttons here, it would distract. It would say, well, there's something unusual, and we try to not do something that, distracts the eye.
I also like the collar here. It's a nice white collar, and it sits rather high. It's not a small collar that you go for, right?
So we like the collar to be set up very high, because we don't like it if you can see too much shirt. And if the higher you put up the collar, the smaller the collar ring gets, because your neck gets slimmer the further up you go. But I think it just looks more pleasing if there's not too much shirt showing in the back. And also the danger of the neck gap, if it's too low, is minimized because it goes up higher.
Got it. Okay. Nice. So we're in Austria, of course, and Austrians have a great sartorial history. There's also kind of some more unusual jackets that you guys have here, right?
Well, yeah, like folklore or traditional clothing, if that is what you mean, yes.
Yeah. Do you have anything here? Can we take a look?
Yeah, sure. I've got one here that is in need to be pressed.
Okay. How often do you press a jacket or suit, would you say?
I would say it depends on how often it's worn. Mm-hmm. It depends on how easy a customer sweats or doesn't sweat. It depends on what type of fabric it is. Some will hang out easier than others.
Yeah, like a linen suit.
Right, exactly. Cotton linen, you need to press more often.
Yeah, okay.
We're against chemical cleaning as much as possible. If you have a fish soup on your suit, you need to take it to dry cleaner. Yeah. No issue. But like dust or, just there are a lot of stains you can get out by brushing or using some soap. So with pressing and soft cleaning, you can do wonders. You can do really a lot.
Nice. So what do we have here?
So this is a if I were to translate it correctly, it's the festive Trachten jacket. Trachten is the word for folklore, traditional clothing in German. Mm-hmm. And so this is what you would wear probably which is like to be worn on a wedding with a white shirt and with a pink tie, for example. And the very specific thing is the green piping. Yeah. The push-pull buttonholes.
It's also kind of rounded here, right? Yeah. Right. And then the kind of,
Right. Oh, the push-pull buttonholes.
Yeah, like piped with the green, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you have the
deer buttons.
This is deer horn buttons.
Deer, yeah. Hirschhorn.
Hirschhorn, buckhorn. Yeah, nice.
Right. And the green velvet or felt top collar.
And kind of
piping here.
The piping on the cuff.
Right. So this is a very traditional wedding, Trachten wedding jacket.
Okay. Let's look at the back. So in the back here, you have this like back belt.
Yes.
Piped again, pointed with the same.
So this is practically. It's a very specific style. If you look at the old books, it's not fancy. It's just the way it's meant to be. Yeah. This is the instruction of how to do this specific wedding Trachten jacket.
And it's not like a fancy finish. It's just you can tell it's like a fiber dye. You have like gray charcoal.
Right. So this is this is a Loden.
A Loden fabric.
Right. It's a very typical Austrian fabric. A Loden.
Is this woven first too and then felted?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
I just noticed another detail. The flapped chest pocket.
Yes.
Also piped. Interesting. I mean, no pocket square, obviously.
Right.
Very traditional.
Well, this is exactly. If you go back to these old, times and the pictures and the photographs of when they emerged, the handkerchief in a jacket is something that was worn in town, but it was. I do not recall having ever seen a jacket anywhere in the world on the countryside, except maybe English noblemen in their castles, but the traditional clothing never had pocket squares. I do not recall ever having seen them. Have you?
No, not really. So how do you wear this? Is there like a matching pair of pants? Is there a waistcoat? What type of shirt do you wear with it? What type of neckwear, hatwear, shoes?
Right, so you would wear the same trousers in the same fabric.
Yeah.
Or you would wear green trousers, which would correspond with the green upper collar.
So this is just like a regular wool fabric kind of?
It's also Loden.
Also Loden.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the trousers would have a green piping as well. So it would again correspond.
Do you have an example of the trouser?
Unfortunately, not at the moment.
Okay.
So this is the summer version and not as festive version as this is. But it's also a very typical Austrian cloth. It's called Jägerleinen.
The hunter's linen.
Hunter's linen, exactly. And this would be the summer version. You can see the piping.
Yeah.
That would also be on the trousers in the festive suit.
So you have, green warp,
And
brown
a
weft.
brown, exactly.
And then you also have something white in there. So it's this kind of changeant effect. Very nice.
Right, yeah. So the piping is what you would have with the trousers.
It's almost like a galon, but it's very slim piping.
It should be the same width as the piping is on the jacket.
And then what type of shirt do you wear with it?
White shirt.
White shirt. Neckwear?
Either a pink tie, or you would have what
Like
we would call
pink, like magenta pink, like pale pink?
no, like a pale pink, like a pale pink, and some would also, which is also very typical Austrian, would have woven into the pale pink some green ornaments, floral patterns,
like an Edelweiss, stuff like that.
yeah, something like that.
Nice.
Or the other thing would be like a sort of bow tie, but you wouldn't wear a bow tie. It would look like a shoelace. So you would just do a normal, shoelace tie of a bit of a thicker, again, pale pink,
material.
Woven type of, think of a very, 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 very slim knitted grenadine tie.
Okay.
So like an inch.
Okay.
And he would make, just like you would tie your shoelace and have that
As a kind of relaxed, floaty bow.
Yeah, yeah.
And then hats?
No, you would not wear. If we go back to the 17th century, 18th century, they would have typical hats, but not really so much now. You do have hats that correspond to the traditional clothing, felt hats, but they would probably not be worn on a wedding. They would be worn on the countryside when the weather is bad against the rain. But there's nothing like like a cylinder or something that you would have as a festive hat where to go with this now.
Okay. And is there anything special about the shoes or boots, or what do you wear with it?
You would actually, yes, you would have Hafelschuhe. They're
It's like in Bavaria with a side seam.
yes, exactly, right.
Yeah, it's like Oxford or Derby is very centered, and then we'll show them a picture so they can see what it looks.
We can come up with one, I guess.
We'll have one. I know it's a traditional Hafelschuh.
Hafelschuhe,
Yeah,
exactly,
okay.
right.
It's funny because they also have it in Bavaria for the traditional.
Exactly, right. And they would obviously need to be black.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So, other than the folklore dressing, I think Austria and Vienna in particular is known for the Frack, the white tie tailcoat.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you make those too?
We make them too.
Do you have one here?
I think we should, yes. We got one in just recently
So
to be serviced.
To be serviced. Tell me more about that.
Well, as I've said before, we're very much against dry cleaning.
Yeah.
And also, most of the dry cleaners do not do the pressing that tailors
Would do, yes.
would do.
Absolutely.
And so we advise every customer to bring us the garments after either the season, if it's a regular suit, or after a ball, if it's a tuxedo or a white tie. And we go over all of it. We see if the buttons are still intact, if all the seams are intact, if there are any stains. And we just service it. We call it a service.
A lovely service, sounds like.
Well, it's again, you check the seams, you check the buttons, you press it, and then you have it back in the hanger until the customer comes back to collect it for next ball.
Awesome.
And that does happen quite often because Vienna is probably the city with the most balls all over in the world. Every ball season, which starts in January and goes basically until the end of February. There are a couple of them in May. we have about 450 balls per season.
It's on my bucket list. I want to come to some of them and wear all the white tie. It's going to be great.
So yeah, and so this is a quite busy time for us with the frocks, and yeah, so this one just came in after a ball last week.
Nice. So do you think I can put it in a mannequin?
I think we should either get a new mannequin, or if I may use a mannequin.
Sure, yeah, totally.
I think this gentleman happens to be approximately your size.
Let's have a look.
So we must bear in mind it's not made for you, but considering that, it doesn't fit all too bad. And it will give us...
It feels fine. You know, I can tell it's like a little constricting in a way, but yeah, very nice.
You're a bit more athletic than he is.
Nice. So this is the typical... Is there anything particular about the Viennese frack? Or are they pretty much all the same? What would you say is your philosophy here on the frack?
Well, I'm sticking to what the frock was, or how the frock was cut when it was basically made more than 100 years ago. We like to keep the front rather short because we love high waist trousers.
Yes.
And so longer legs give you a slimmer silhouette, and they're more pleasing to the eye. So we like to keep this pretty short, as it used to be. And a very important aspect, you see it worn so improperly so many times. The waistcoat of a frock should always be or end above the peak of the jacket. From 100 frocks that you look at, people wearing, 90% will wear it incorrectly and have the waistcoat go lower than that.
Lower. I think there's very few occasions where it can look really great if it's like very intentional and it's very kind of, you know, coordinated. Most of the time, yeah, it's better if it's underneath, and also if the line of the waistcoat is kind of, you know, kind of almost like parallel on top.
But it should definitely end above the jacket. And I think the reason is that because a lot of customers today prefer low waist trousers.
Yes.
And so as you should not be able to see
the waistband.
The waistcoat needs to be lower, and that you cannot do a white tie with a front that goes all the way down to here. So that just looks awful. So, yeah.
Just wear higher waist trousers, and life is easier.
Exactly. Exactly. And also sartorially correct. I mean, like I said, the frock really needs to be with high waist trousers. There's no way around if you want to look elegant in it.
What's your rule of length on a tailcoat?
So we say the length should go just a little bit below where your knee is.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
And as for the fabric, I think one thing that has also, or let's say the only thing that has changed, I wear the white tie, the frock from my grandfather, which was made in 1933, hangs up there. And as they didn't have any central heating in those days, they had chimneys everywhere, but it was pretty cold. So the only thing that's really changed about frocks today is the weight of the fabric.
It's much lighter.
Much lighter, yeah. Today's ballrooms are all well heated.
Like a high twist, open weave.
Yeah.
So.
And we love mohair if there's some mohair in it, because mohair is cool and it's pretty wrinkle resistant.
Also, it's a little sparkly, which an evening.
Yeah, it just has an elegant touch to it, and it doesn't wrinkle as easy, and it's got a cool grip.
Do you have a favorite specific fabric for black tie?
I would probably say it's like a Barathea, because Barathea has also this crease resistance. Mm-hmm. It's cool in a grip. It's pretty hard wearing, and you get it in all sorts of weights. So I think a medium weight Barathea is what I would go with if it was for me.
Ideally wool with some mohair.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So, you don't wear a frack every day. What about other types of evening wear that you offer?
Good point. So what we do quite frequently are like club jackets.
Oh, interesting.
And
like blazer club striped jackets?
Well, no, not really. I would say if you could wear a blazer, rowing blazer, all fine. You could wear, but something that for club evenings goes very well are velvet jackets. and all sorts of colors, because it does have a little bit more of a festive appeal to it, and it's yet not as formal as a black tie would be. And so we do velvet jackets. I could show you one that we're just about to finish now.
I saw this one here, right? This was a nice, like, velvet. Beautiful velvet, beautiful color, kind of a dark purple,
it's like a deep aubergine, deep purple. And so it's an elegant color in the evening. It's a bit fancy, but not too much. And it's just the perfect jacket if you want to have the specific extra look at an evening at the club.
And this is just marked, right? You marked the buttonholes here, so they're ready to...
So this is, we just had the last fitting, and now we're doing the buttonholes and adding the buttons, but then it's ready to be delivered.
Beautiful. Do you want to put it on?
Yeah, let's put it on, to give you an idea what it looks like. Again, the mannequin is a bit too small for this jacket, but it gives you an idea. Again, you have our ticket pocket, which we love, also on evening jackets. And it just has, again, the soft line. It's got, the proportions are as we always do it.
And this has more of the kind of kniche lapel where you can see it's like slightly angled.
I must admit, it's something that I took with me from there. Yeah, I think they had a very good feel for that. I agree with it.
Beautiful. I think earlier I also saw like a kind of off-white or white dinner jacket. Do you still have that here?
Came in to be serviced. That was worn at a wedding 2 weeks ago. So this is, it's a fresco again. And also there's just one layer of canvas inside. There's no chest enforcement, no nothing. They married in the south of Spain, very hot, very humid. So it had to be the lightest and yet most proper looking version of what this jacket can be. And you see also the nicely accented waist, not too much, but you can see it. Not too much peak, not too flat. It's got these culso buttons, which I think look very nice.
They're less flashy than a mother of pearl button.
Exactly right.
Which is more in line with your philosophy, like quiet.
Again, the philosophy, less is more. Exactly right. And
nice lapel width.
Yeah, this is, exactly. On the frock we had before, the width was a bit slimmer because it was according to the wish of our customer, who is used from his old tailor to have very narrow lapels. Here we are at the point that I mentioned before where I said half of the width is very pleasing to the eye.
Your aesthetic kind of take on it. Yeah, no, it's nice.
Our take on it. I'm not saying it's the only correct way, but...
Just your take. Oh, and you can see all the pick stitching here too.
Right, exactly. And it's, to further make it better to wear in the South, it's half line. So it's not like our butterfly jacket.
Let's angle it like here, because I'm more in the middle, exactly. Okay, half lined. So there's a sleeve lining.
Yes, this one has a sleeve lining, yeah.
And also the lining is here.
Yeah, there's one thin sheet of a canvas, but no more than that.
Because it's a double-breasted jacket. So
yes,
yeah, you want,
it's just to keep the shape a bit better, right.
Beautiful.
But it's such a beautiful classic. You go through all of the Lawrence Fellows illustrations of the 1930s, and so you would find all these beautiful Ivory called dinner jacket.
So you're a fan of fashion illustrations, I think?
Yes, absolutely. I can show you some of the books and catalogs that we have if you're interested.
Yeah, let's do that later. You have this great bar and the fashion illustrations. I think good conversations will come from.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Michael, thank you so much,
Sven,
for having us here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing your take on, the Viennese tradition in a very kind of lightweight way.
Thank you for your interest, for your appreciation, and taking the time to visit us.